Today I'm reacting to your Monday Night Raw Hot Takes. Hot Takes is a weekly video series where I give you all a platform to be able to voice your thoughts, whether those are good thoughts, bad thoughts, or everything in between about the world of professional wrestling. So if you'd like to be featured in the next episode of Hot Takes, make sure that you're following me over on X because I ask for your hot takes there after every episode of Raw, SmackDown, and every single WWE Premium Live event. And if you are looking for my full 40+ minute review of this particular episode of Monday Night Raw, it's up and available along with all of the other extra content that we don't post here on YouTube over on patreon.com/SantiZab with footage so that you can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Go check it out. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. All right, folks, that's enough. Let's see what you guys sent in. I can't believe that people thought Logan Paul was turning babyface tonight. I literally don't think he ever could. Him joining the Vision is something that I can work with if he sticks around. He actually fits the group quite well, but he needs to be here in order for it to work. Yeah, I never once bought the babyface turn for Logan Paul. I did think it was hilarious that they made him a babyface for like 5 minutes, only for him to turn heel at the end of the night. It's about as Logan Paul of an episode as it could possibly be. Now, when it comes to him joining the Vision, I think that we need to use that term fairly loosely. We don't really know if he's joined the Vision. This could be a, hey, we're just going to temporarily join forces for War Games, very similarly to how Bronson Reed all of a sudden became a member of the Bloodline for a month in last year's War Games. But let's pretend that he has joined the Vision. Is this the landscape changing movement that Triple H was talking about? If it is, then I would also agree with you that for it to be landscape changing, for it to work, that Logan Paul would need to be there on a week-to-week basis to be able to further develop the characters within the Vision, his dynamic within those characters, and of course, further push the Vision itself, which I don't think is going to happen. I just don't think that we're ever going to get Logan Paul on a weekly basis. This is a guy that's already a made man, many millions of dollars and already very famous. I just don't think that he needs to do the grind that you typically would expect out of a WWE superstar that is expected by being there weekly. I just don't expect that out of Logan Paul, and I frankly never will. That is why I'm leaning towards this more being a temporary alliance, an alliance out of convenience, an alliance that I won't lie is a little bit confusing considering the Vision ate Logan Paul alive just for what? Logan Paul to be like, no, we're good. Maybe the explanation could be like, hey, you know what? I don't want any of this smoke. You guys hurt me pretty bad. I don't want you to hurt me again. So let's just join forces and take out CM Punk. It could be something like that. But I certainly don't think that this is Logan Paul joining the Vision. Funnily enough, I do think that Logan Paul, like you said, fits the Vision weirdly well because the Vision kind of has two very similar characters. I'm big, I'm strong, I break things, I'm a big monster that steals shoes. They need a more charismatic, a more character-driven dude like a Logan Paul. I think he could actually balance out the Vision pretty well, but I think it's going to be short-term, nothing long-term. I believe the perfect place for the Jey heel turn is War Games. Could you imagine the heat that he would get for selling out the babyface that leads to the Vision winning? And I think they need to win. Not him joining the Vision, but him truly thinking of only himself. Hey, it's worked before. It worked with Sami Zayn fully turning on Kevin Owens and then him fully turning to the dark side and joining the Bloodline. So we've seen it work in the past. I'm sure it could work again. I already do find it a little bit perplexing that Jey Uso, from a character's perspective, would even want to be part of this. His whole character arc is that every single time he goes in to help people and takes all of these bullets for other people, he loses out on opportunities and he's not able to be 100% himself. So logically, why would Jey Uso once again stand in the line of fire for other dudes like CM Punk? It just doesn't make any sense, but I do think that that's where they're gonna go. And I think at face value, that kind of regresses the progression of the Jey Uso character trying to become more of a lone wolf, to not hear the voices of other people trying to speak sweet nothings into his ear, unless, like you say, he turns on all of the baby faces and says, nah, it's just me, Us. I am done getting speared. I am done getting tsunamied. I am going off on my own. Screw you guys. I'm going home. If that were to happen, then I do think that Jey Uso's inclusion within this War Games team actually does now start to fit the narrative of the character arc and character path that he's been on. With the first matches being announced for the tournament, I'm liking the people in it so far, but I hope that there's more of the competitors in the tournament that have at least some sort of history with Cena so that we don't don't get an opponent with zero history or story with Cena. I don't know, I'm a little bit mixed. I like the idea of John Cena's final opponent being somebody brand new, somebody that he's never faced before, just like I also really like the idea of him facing somebody that he's got plenty of history with. I actually think, believe it or not, both choices are great. I think that this could be a soft taco and hard shell taco situation. Why not both? Think about it. Like, if it ends up being a Carmelo Hayes, that's pretty sick. That's new. That's unique. We haven't seen that before. If it's an Ilya Dragunov, hell yeah. But if it's a Sheamus, if it's a Miz, if it's a Adam Copeland Edge on this day I see clearly, all of those options sound great to me. I think that this is an interesting win-win scenario for fans. And if they keep announcing these types of people in the tournament with the announcement already of Rusev, Damian Priest, Nakamura, Sheamus, I think that we're going to have a wonderful tournament that whoever wins after all four of the matches that they have, they're going to win over the crowd, and you're going to be ready and hyped for whoever it ends up being.
We're refusing to... Here we go! Oh, God, he barely made it. Dude, there's a fire in the ring, dude.
Curly and AAA. Oh, God!
Oh, my God!
That was a sneak peek of this week's Horror Week Wrestling is Cool Match Club, available exclusively over on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week, we're going to be looking at the hellacious Hell in a Cell match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. The 3 stages of Hell match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. The infamous WCW Chamber of Horrors match from 1991. The barbed wire Christmas tree match from TNA. And The Undertaker and Kane in their famous 1999 Inferno match. You're going to be getting all of this, plus the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, the currently ongoing John Cena World Championship Series, and all of the videos and series that we've already uploaded there over on patreon.com/SantiZap. So go check it out. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. We obviously can't post this stuff here on YouTube because it would just get blocked due to copyright. So go check it out over there. I'm confident that if you try it even for just 1 month, that you are going to fall in love with the content and the community. If you're already a patron, thank you so much for your support. Now let's get you back to the video. If they do Dom versus Rey at Survivor Series instead of Cena versus Dom, I would be fine with it. We can still get Dom versus Cena for Cena's final match, and we can possibly see it for the Intercontinental Championship, and Cena winning the IC title off of Dom in his final match to become Grand Slam champion. Listen, I was pretty married to the idea of Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena, Intercontinental Championship, big bright lights at Petco Park in San Diego, California for the Intercontinental Championship. I love the idea. That's what I wanted. The only match that could have supplanted this, that would have gotten me more excited, is literally the match that they've set up. Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio is absolutely a better matchup to do at Survivor Series. It just is. Like, when you look at all of the context, right? This is the 619, the literal area code of San Diego. San Diego's homegrown talent, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, having a match potentially for the soul of Lucha Libre, for a Lucha Libre driven title, the AAA Mega Campeonato, which I hope it's for that title, not the IC title, to determine the true king of the luchadors, to potentially retire Rey Mysterio, is way too perfect of a way to go out for Rey. It doesn't get better than doing it in your hometown for the soul of Lucha Libre against your own son. Like, that is the perfect way to retire. And by the way, I don't think that childhood Santi is ready to see Rey Mysterio and John Cena retire within 2 weeks of each other. That might actually break my soul and send me to the Shadow Realm. Logan Paul joining the Vision is the best thing to happen to a faction in WWE since Sammy joined the Bloodline. Hold on. I like what's going on here with Logan Paul, whether it's temporary, whether it's long-term. We'll find out more information about that. I'm thoroughly entertained by it so far, 1 episode in, but Sammy joining the Bloodline, no. that saved the Bloodline. It was starting to get stale, and Sami Zayn came in and saved the Bloodline and gave it juice for like another year and a half, and Sami Zayn became one of the most beloved characters, arguably in the history of WWE, at least for sure in the last 15 years. I don't think we can even compare air this. But like I said, I like the idea of Logan Paul having a partnership with the Vision because he adds a different character layer that I think is desperately missing from the Vision. Dom is going to prove his loyalty to Liv and prove to the world that he is a good man. Well, you don't need to prove to the world that you're a good man when the entire world already knows you're a good man. Do you hear anybody booing Dominic Mysterio? There's not a single soul in the room booing the king of the luchadores, the AAA Mega Campeón, the Intercontinental Champion. Dominic Mysterio is a fan-beloved favorite. And yes, sure, if you need proof that he is this loyal man, he'll prove it to you. He's not going to do anything with Roxanne Perez, but I do think that this image right here is starting to hint at the return of Liv Morgan. Look at this image right here. Who's overlooking this conversation? You've got the shrine of Liv Morgan directly behind us. I do believe that this right here is going to be the catalyst that's going to start pushing the snowball down the mountain that will eventually culminate in the return of Liv Morgan. Calling it right now, the last two members of the Vision for War Games will be Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory. You're not calling anything. This has been rumored forever, all right? You're not going to be like, if it happens, see, Santi, I called it. Everyone's been calling this for a long time. This was the original rumored plan to have Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory be part of this team for the Vision. I don't know. I'm not necessarily sold on this, but we do need two more people, right? Unless they do a 4v4 Survivor Series War Games, which they've done before. It wouldn't be something brand new, and it wasn't that long ago that they did 4v4. I'm still anticipating that it's going to be the more traditional 5v5 that we've become accustomed to, and if that's the case, we do need two more bodies. Brock Lesnar makes a tremendous amount of sense as a favor to Paul Heyman, and Austin Theory, well, that just kind of seems to be a little bit of a wild card. The only way I see Austin Theory being properly a part of this is if Austin Theory properly joins the Vision. Because like Logan Paul, sure, like that makes sense, like a temporary partnership, but like a temporary partnership with Austin Theory, why the hell would the Vision want to partner up with, let's call it what it is, a loser over the last 2 years, unless this loser is actually going to work fully for the Vision and be part of the Vision and help prop up the Vision. That's the only way Austin Theory makes sense here. A bold prediction I have is that Carmelo Hayes is going to be the one who wins the tournament. Gunther is already a made man, and Cena wants to make a star in this moment. It would be icing if it's also for the IC title that Cena's rumored to be Dom for. So I don't know where we do Cena versus Dom between now and Survivor Series War Games, unless they do it on one of the episodes of Monday Night Raw. It's possible that Dom might lose the IC title somewhere before his match against Rey Mysterio for the AAA championship. So sure, I do think that it's still on the table, albeit I do think it's less likely now that Rey Mysterio is in the equation, and Rey Mysterio versus Dom is likely pegged now as one of our marquee matches for Survivor Series. In terms of Carmelo winning, I wouldn't be upset. There's a litany of people that I just wouldn't be upset by winning. Now, you say Gunther's already a made man and that Cena would probably prefer to make a new star. I think it depends. You could either make a new star or take a current star and push them to mega stardom. And I'm willing to put money on WWE preferring taking a star, a known commodity, and elevating them even more. I'm starting to really like the idea of John Cena facing Sheamus in his final match. John winning the Intercontinental title at Survivor Series to become the Grand Slam champion, and then helping Sheamus become a Grand Slam champion himself would be the perfect way to go. So I can't keep doing this, right? Like, you can make these arguments for literally everybody. Sure, you could even make it about Shinsuke Nakamura if you really wanted to. Sheamus is an interesting and a very intriguing one. He is one of those names that has history and lineage with John Cena. If Cena does win the IC title between now and then, it would make this match a potential another Grand Slam champion being crowned, which would be a wonderful send-off of John Cena to Sheamus and John Cena to the fans as well. I've started to like the idea of Sheamus a lot more and more. Frankly, if not Gunther, I think it should be Sheamus. Logan Paul tonight. Yeah, shout out to Logan Paul channeling his inner Big Show, going from heel to babyface to heel. This man, he has the range of Leonardo DiCaprio. Don't tell me that this man can't act when he is just changing characters left, right, and center. Next week, Raw is going to be great. 2 championship matches plus 2 banger matches of the tournament plus Cena appearing. Yeah, you want to know the big difference between like this episode of Monday Night Raw and the last like 4 or 5 that they've had is that they're actually building to a major important PLE that WWE cares about on ESPN, because a build up to Saturday Saturday night's main event, I've realized often gives us the most snooze fest, sleep-inducing episodes of both Raw and SmackDown. But when we're building to a PLE proper, we tend to get much better television. And this recent episode of Monday Night Raw was proof of it, and these next upcoming episodes are gonna be even further proof. At first, we wanted Cena at Survivor Series. Now, I want them both. Triple threat at Survivor Series, or heck, make it a fatal four-way and include Sheamus. No. Like, Dominic and Rey must be untampered, unsoiled. That needs to be on its own. That isn't even really a match just for us. This is a match for them. This is father-son in their hometown for the AAA Mega Championship. It doesn't need anybody else tainting this or impacting this story. It should just be vanilla Dom versus vanilla Rey Mysterio. No stipulations, no involvement, no bloodline rules, nothing. Now, if you really wanted to get spicy, if WWE trusts the cardio of Dominic Mysterio, unlike the cardio of Jey Uso and his baby lungs, then maybe you could run Dominic Mysterio having 2 matches at Survivor Series War Games, with Rey for the AAA Championship and with John Cena for the IC Championship. Sure, why not? I would love to see WWE continue having Dragon Lee and AJ Styles feud with the Judgment Day, because for the second time in a row, they've faced each other, they've delivered. All 4 have very good chemistry together. Yeah, I would actually make the argument that their sequel match was maybe from in-ring better than their first match. Like, both of their matches have been utterly fantastic, which again begs the question, why weren't you doing this the entire time that JD McDonough and Finn Balor were champions, when you know they're so good in the ring? They can have excellent matches. You could have put them out there with a pillowcase and a box of chocolates, and they would have had a 5-star match. So it is kind of criminal that you spent over 100 days hiding them away from us, and it's only until they finally lose the championships that you remind the world that they're actually very good at this. Hopefully, since we have a pair of champions that includes a future Hall of Famer in AJ Styles, who's kind of in his own mini retirement tour, that this maybe revitalizes the tag team division by demanding and forcing the tag team division to get more time on screen. Because there's still a lot of fantastic matches available. You know, AJ Lee versus the New Day versus the Creeds versus give me the fellas from LWO, Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. That'd probably be a sick match as well. Just allow the tag team division to win us over with the in-ring, just like the SmackDown tag team division did last year. The landscape of WWE seems a bit unchanged, but maybe I'm just fatigued with Triple H booking. The star power in WWE is not being used to its full capacity. Oh, look at you, and look at all of you falling for Triple H's Twitter marketing. Today, the landscape will change. Nothing changed, man. Okay, sure, Logan Paul aligned himself with the vision. That doesn't change anything. It's entertaining, but that doesn't change any landscape. This is just marketing lingo. At this point, just don't fall for it, folks. I feel like CM Punk is almost trying too hard to be a babyface, just constantly complimenting people while doing his promos, as if he's worried if he talks too much smack that he will become too heelish. Wish it felt more like Raw Punk rather than him playing it too safe. Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is you want the heel Punk, and heel Punk is the best version of Punk, or you want that like 2012 Punk where he's kind of like a tweener in between, where he is a good guy but he's anti-authority. This is a very different type of Punk. This very much is a crowd-pleasing Punk. I'm still happy that he's our world heavyweight champion, but you're right. Like, there is something that is still yet to be unleashed with this babyface Punk. He just hasn't been as ruthless as you would expect him to be. To be fair, he hasn't really had a feud to be ruthless in, aside from the feud where he was super ruthless in against Drew McIntyre. We've yet to really be able to recreate that Drew McIntyre CM Punk magic again with CM Punk since. It feels like LA Knight has been put on timeout because of last week. CM Punk didn't even mention him on possible challengers for the title. This rubs me the wrong way, but at what point do we lose hope on LA Knight? I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised people still have hope for LA Knight with how he's been booked over the last couple of years. I've had no hope for LA Knight for a very long time. Trust me, if you expect the worst, you tend to not be disappointed. It's a pretty sad way to look at life, but it's also sadly, unfortunately realistic as a wrestling fan. I said this last week, we talked about the possibility of him getting in trouble here. I loved him grabbing the sign. I think it's about as on brand as it gets for a guy like LA Knight. I love how anti-authority it was. But if I put myself in the shoes of like somebody working in corporate WWE, this would piss me off, right? Like, this is a guy on TV downplaying the decisions made by the suits at WWE. And it's those very same suits that could just make LA Knight disappear. So why piss them off by doing this? Now, obviously, I'm speculating. I don't know that anybody's pissed off. It's very possible that LA Knight was on a 1-week vacation sipping Mai Tais in Logan Paul's pool in Puerto Rico. But the narrative is there. Everybody is talking about this. Like, did LA Knight get banished to the Shadow Realm, aka catering, because of this? I fully expect CM Punk to not hold on to the World Heavyweight title for long, considering Braun Breaker is right there. Are we seriously going to use what little time he'll have as champ on Logan Paul? He's the last person I want in the picture when it's so time sensitive, like the John Cena retirement tour. Yes, this does require some speculation to be correct. With speculation, which by the way I have as well, that CM Punk won't have a very long championship reign because Braun Breaker is right there around the corner. Not only that, but this first month of his title reign is likely going to be focused on building up towards War Games, which means that we won't get a traditional one-on-one feud for CM Punk's World Heavyweight Championship. And then after War Games, I think you would expect the Logan Paul match, or maybe straight up the Braun Breaker match right there. Maybe it's CM Punk, Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event on John Cena's retirement. Maybe they do that, and then against Braun Breaker closer to the Royal Rumble. But I do think that CM Punk's days as World Heavyweight Champion are already numbered, which is why it's such a troll job that he had this list of people that we would love to see him up against, which by the way was a quick reminder of like how many people we still need CM Punk to have feuds and matches against since he's returned to the WWE. He listed a whole bunch of great names. So to have Logan Paul come out there is such a hilarious, like, on the money troll. But it might be a little bit too trollish realistically in that it could be stealing away what little time we have from CM Punk having all of these dream matchups against guys that we've been wanting to see him have matches with since he returned to the WWE. By the way, I'm excited for Logan Paul and CM Punk, but I would certainly be a lot more excited for this if there was more runway. If I had in my mind that CM Punk was going to hold for 6, 8, 7 months. Yeah, 6, 7. Okay, I did the thing. Because if he was holding for all of those months, then I would think that there's room to do Logan Paul and all those other guys. But right now, it kind of feels that it's just going to be Logan Paul and then he loses the title to Braun Breaker. In what possible world do Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker need the help of Logan Paul? I hope that this is just for War Games because I will be legitimately pissed if he becomes a permanent fixture in this group. Braun and Bronson need to be pushed away from Logan's antics. I do believe, okay, that Logan's antics could make the Vision more entertaining as a whole and give it a new character dynamic, but you bring up a very logical point. Like, in what world do Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker need the help of Logan Paul? They don't need his help at all. They haven't needed the help of anybody. They literally kicked out a world champion, WWE first ballot Hall of Famer, top guy in the company, Seth Rollins, out of the group. If they didn't feel like they needed him, realistically, why would they need Logan Paul? I think it's a good question. I think this interaction between Becky and the Kabuki Warriors is a hint that they'll be on the same War Games team rather than a tease of a future match for the IC title. I agree. I think that this is a hint of what our Women's Survivor Series team is going to look like. It'll probably be Kabuki Warriors, Becky Lynch, and maybe the ladies of the Judgment Day. I could see that being the heel team here for whatever it is that they plan on doing for the Women's War Games. It does, at face value, you know, outside looking in, feel like there's nothing really in place that really warrants a War Games match for either the men or the women. Like, really, if you think about it, it almost feels like they're just sort of having to do a War Games match because it's Survivor Series War Games. Like, they're just here for the zip line. They're kind of forcing this gimmick match to happen. But yeah, I don't think that they're going to be feuding. I think it's going to be, enemy of my enemy type of deal or something like that. This is the look of someone who is at the top of their game. Becky's last 2 title runs in NXT and main roster have been fantastic, and she has been doing great things. This deep into her career, she is still getting better, and it is phenomenal. That promo from Becky Lynch was fantastic. I will always pop for a promo if you can somehow reference the greatest television show ever to grace humanity Breaking Bad. Game of Thrones could have had it if they just didn't fuck up the last 2 seasons. Anyways, yeah, I thought the Becky Lynch promo was fantastic. She is just so damn good. She's so believable on the mic as this maniacal villain that's still just delusional as to how things really are in this world. I think she plays the role super well, and on top of that, she delivers in the ring as well, which is why I do believe, like, when I do my end of the year awards, Becky Lynch is going to be damn near a front runner for Superstar of the Year. I think Nikki Bella is destined to turn heel. Her heel era is her best era that she's ever had. I'm excited to see what this next chapter brings, hoping that she turns on Stephanie. Listen, it has to be Nikki Bella turning on Stephanie Vaquer. Nobody wants to see this groveling, insecure Nikki Bella. Oh my God, Stephanie, you're so cool. You're so amazing. How do you do? You're such a great champion. You're so great in the ring. I'm not that good. I don't know that I can hang with the women anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Snap out of it, Nikki Bella. Turn heel and give us something more interesting than just this groveling, glazing factory for Stephanie Vaquer that you've become. So what's the path for LA Knight here? I think that he needs to leave Raw and go to SmackDown. I don't think that he's the one who'll face John Cena in his last match. Maybe start a new and fresh feud on the Blue Brand because I need NXT LA Knight back. Oh, sweet young summer child. Weren't we all saying LA Knight needs to leave SmackDown and go to Raw to help his career like 6 months ago? And now you think that to fix the LA Knight problem is for him to go back to the place where the problems started in the first place? It's not gonna fix anything. There's no fixing the problem by just going from here to there. Like you can't do that. You need to go from here to here. Yeah, that's not gonna fix anything. The fundamental problems with LA Knight are just simply booking, whether he's on Raw or SmackDown, and the seeming lack of desire to make him look good in any regard. They need to bring more televised shows to New Mexico. The crowd was fantastic, especially during this segment. Oh yeah, this crowd was fantastic. Way better than the lame ass Utah crowd. No disrespect to my friends in Salt Lake City, Utah. You guys were a very dreadful, abysmal SmackDown crowd. You made no noise. It is what it is, all right? Sometimes we all just can't deliver when it's time to deliver. But shout out to the New Mexico crowd. It was a small crowd too, 7,000 people, and they sounded significantly louder than that. Teddy Long called, playa. Yeah, what was that, like 4 tag matches? There was the main event, which was kind of dreadful with the count out finish, the 2 separate women's tag team matches, and then the AJ Lee and Judgment Day match. Yeah, we had 4, I think 4 of the 5 matches were tag team matches. I do think that Teddy Long is somewhere out there smiling. Asuka got absolutely 0 offense on Bayley. The most that she got was when she pushed Lyra into her. Not sure what they're cooking here, but I'm interested. Yeah, this is different for sure. This tag match, like you said, had Asuka putting 0 hands on Bayley last week to end the show. The Kabuki Warriors did not attack Bayley. I don't know what the play is here. Maybe we're gonna have Bayley, you know, again, how she's kind of like swapping personalities, turn into Damage Control Bayley for a little while and join the Kabuki Warriors for War Games. I don't know, dude. I'm spitballing here, but it is something to note. Like, that was very, very intentional. Logan Paul will become the next World Heavyweight Champion. I don't think he'll be the next World Heavyweight Champion, but I'm telling you, get accustomed to the idea, because this right here, it's going to happen at some point. About time that we're getting this match. Every week, the women's tag team matches on Raw have been banger after banger after banger. And when you think about it, it's a little bit of a dream match, right? Like Asuka and Charlotte and Alexa Bliss in the same ring is a huge deal. And then you add the great work of Kairi Sane, and I do think that you've got a little mini dream match within the women's tag team division. A tag team division that doesn't have a lot of lore, a lot of history, but in the short history that it has, I think right here, this is one of the super matches that you could create. I do think it's going to end with shenanigans. I don't think that we're going to have a definitive winner, because I think that both of these sides are going to be part of the nucleus of both the babyface and the heel side of War Games. I wouldn't be surprised if we have, I don't know, the likes of maybe Bayley going out there, maybe Rhea Ripley and Io Sky come back. I do think that this match is going to end in all kinds of chaos, and we're not going to have a definitive winner. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching this episode of Hot Takes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye. Get out of here.